have a fresh Mailerlite account or you've had one before and you're getting a few messages about authentication. So what's important is whenever you've got a brand new account, we'll get everything set up correctly before we start sending emails. So you can see here I've created a brand new account. It's only got one active subscriber, which will be myself. And now you've got a few warning messages. One being that I need to send a verification email and verify that I own this email address. And then another about the authentication requirements from Google and Yahoo's update. So we're going to go through all of this to make sure that our account is set up correctly with the right account settings. So you can click here on these things, but what we're going to do is go through the normal way. So if we go to account settings, then all our account settings will appear up. So as you can see, everything in here, so you can edit the time zone if you want to change the time zone or anything to anything else. Like you might want to put specifically London, for instance. If you are on a paid account, you can turn off the Mailerlite branding in here as well. And then obviously you've got your address and the time format and things like that in here. So inside the default settings, what you can see in here, this will be your sender name. So if I was you sending from this business, it would be obviously MHE Services and Laura mheservices.co.uk. And then what we can do here is upload a logo, which can then appear in campaigns and things like that. And we can change our brand settings, which can make life a lot easier in the future. But we're not going to do that today. And you can update the company details and unsubscribe disclaimer here. And yeah, pretty much some other little things there. And the main thing that we're key about is the domain section here. So we want to make sure that we have everything verified for our domains, so that when we're sending the domains, they're more likely to hit the inbox. So first things first, what we want to do is it's saying that we're verified here. So the verification, saying that we've actually verified the domain, even though it said on the home screen we haven't. So we're just going to go check that and press click here. It still claims we've done it, so it's just not caught up yet. So this is the bit that we want to look at, this bit here. So it looks a little bit confusing, but basically what we need to do is we need to update our details in the DNS settings. The DNS settings are where your website is hosted normally, okay? It can be a bit more complicated for some people, especially when you're using lots and lots of different software. So hopefully it is straightforward. I can't obviously work with every situation. In this situation, I am using Bluehost, so we can see that I'm logged into the account here. And what we're going to do is go to websites. So you'd log into your website host, and then you'd locate something called DNS settings. In Bluehost, you have to find the website first. You can go to settings, and then you'll see advanced DNS editor, and I can go in there. Generally, or sometimes you have to go into domains and then find it, and you'll find something saying DNS, and then when you load it up, it'll look something like this with lots of different records in. Everyone will have different records. Everybody's different. But what you will find is that you will have something like this, an SPF record. You can see this is the actual, got a lot of different things, not just for mine. So it's got a lot of different actual SPF records in here. So what we're going to do is basically add in what we need to add in. So first things first, it's asking us to add in the DKIM domain keys, which is basically your DKIM is something that confirms that you own this domain. So we're going to copy this bit here that says name. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go back to Bluehost or your host, and you'll find an add record button. And you will change this to CNAME. So you can see here it tells us, please create CNAME record. So we're going to create CNAME, and then it says refers to. So that's where we're going to put in other host in this instance, and we would put that in there. But what would normally happen is you wouldn't have to put other those. It's just Bluehost that does it that way. Now, as you can see, it says otherhost.mheservices.co.uk. So what would actually happen when I add this, it would say this .mheservices.co.uk, which is not what we don't want. We don't want MHE services twice. So I'm actually going to delete the MHE services bit and just leave this bit here. Then when it says where it goes to, we come in here and we copy in the value bit and we paste that in there. And then you can pick anything on here. So I'm just going to put 15 minutes and then press add. So it's saying success and it's been added. So we should be able to see it usually straight away. So let's have a look. So you can see A. We're going to go to CNAME. So it's not added as yet. So I'm just going to refresh the screen. So then we can see if that record's in there. There. So you can see that we've got this in there. That's in. So what would happen, it can take up to 48 hours, is when you press check DNS records, this would actually come up as green because you've actually successfully done it. If after 24 hours or 48 hours, it's still not working, then it more than likely could be something as simple as maybe it actually did need this on the end. You know, you have to kind of troubleshoot this. Or maybe it needs a dot on the end and you've just got to kind of troubleshoot it. Next up is the SPF. Now, SPF is a lot more complicated. So an SPF, I'm just going to copy this SPF here. And as you can see, if we go in here, it is a TXT record, just to show you. So we're going to come back into here. And we're going to scroll down, and you can see TXT. Now, you can only have one SPF record, okay? So this is the SPF record for when IT Moon used to be hosted on here, which it's not, so I can actually just delete that, to be quite honest. Then we've got on here an SPF record, which is for me. So the @ sign means it's for that domain name. So mheservices.co.uk. So I don't actually have to copy this in there. So I would locate my current SPF record. That's what you want to do. And then you want to edit that one because you can only have one SPF record. So I'm going to press edit. And Mailerlite does a fantastic job because it actually does the hard work for you. So with a lot of domain providers, you would have to basically, you would be given just this bit here. And you would have to work out how you want your SPF record to look and edit it. But it actually does it for you, basically. So I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to paste that in there. And then I'm going to press edit. Oh, no, forgot to put the thing. And then press edit. And now I've edited the SPF record. Okay? So that's what I'm going to do in there. So now, when I refresh this, we should see this all up to date. Yep, so we can see TXT @ and it's been updated. So again, you've got to wait up to 48 to 50 hours for this to take effect. But when you press check DNS records, these will turn green. And then you've done the authentication for your account. There's another one that you can add in. It's not 100% needed, but it is recommended to add this in. And that is called DMARC, okay? Now, DMARC just means that you are basically putting a rule on your inbox. And it's actually something that's only recommended by Google if you have over 5,000 subscribers. But we just recommend that you get it in there straight away because, you know, you might as well just get it in there. It's an extra little bit that's going to help with your email deliverability. I'm not actually going to cover all about what DMARC, SPF, DKIM is on this video. I've done previous videos explaining that. So take a look at them there. But what we're going to do is add one more TXT record. We're going to press add record and put TXT. We're going to set other host. And we're going to put the other host as _ DMARC, okay? That's what we're going to put it as. And then what we're going to do in here, the TXT value, we're going to type v = DMARC, all in capitals, with a 1 on the end. Then we're going to do a semicolon, space, p = none, and a semicolon. So with DMARC, just as a quick summary, you can have none as your policy. So that means policy. You can have quarantine and you can have reject. But again, not going to go into that on here. This is just to show you how to do it. Change your minutes and then you'd press add. Now, there's nothing to confirm in here for DMARC because as I mentioned, it's not something that you have to have, but it's something there just in case you want it. Now, that's how you would update it. And then, as I mentioned, you'll come back in here and it will say that you've authenticated your domain and happy days. There is an extra thing you can do called domain alignment, which I'm not covering in this video. But if you wanted to do domain alignment, it basically means that your emails would come from a subdomain. And it can mean that your sender reputation is going to be a lot higher. So a lot of people do like to do domain alignment these days. But again, that's not something we're covering in this video. So hopefully that helps you in updating your settings. As I mentioned, it can be easy for some people, and then it can also be complicated for some people. It's really a hit and miss. We've done hundreds and hundreds of these, and some are straightforward and some aren't. And if you do want more information on how we can help, if you're having issues, head over to sales.itmoon.co.uk/email deliverability. You'll see a video explaining why we have to do these authentication changes, but you'll also see the offer that we've got where we'll update all this for you. So if you are struggling, maybe that you need that, but fingers crossed, this video helps you get through it. But I can't cover every single scenario at all on this. It's impossible to cover every single scenario because there's that many things that could go potentially wrong, because everything's different with different host setups and things like that. So hopefully that helps you out. Any questions, please let me know.